Welcome to my YouTube live, where I want us to look at the election petition tribunal, how it is going so far, and what Nigerians think about it. This is important because the hope of many Nigerians lies now in the judiciary. Nigerians troop out in their large numbers on February 25, 2023, to elect the president of their choice. It was the most significant of all the elections because the presidential election is the most important of all the elections in Nigeria because the president of Nigeria wields a lot of powers. These powers could be used for good or for ill. As a result of that, attention is always paid to the Nigerian's presidential election. And this year, 2023, was quite significant for a lot of reasons. The ruling All Progressive Congress in Nigeria had failed woefully in every indices of development. In the area of the economy, they failed totally because one of the things that President Muhammadu Buhari promised when he was coming to power in 2015 was to ensure that there is a robust economy for Nigeria and for Nigerians. But under his watch, the Naira has literally collapsed. And as I speak to you now, in the parallel market, a dollar is going for 760 Naira. The price of rice, a bag of rice, a major staple in Nigeria, which used to be sold at 8,000 Naira per 50 kilogram, are now sold for 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, which is beyond the minimum wage in Nigeria. The minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 Naira. A bag of rice in Nigeria under Muhammadu Buhari and the APC is going for over 40,000. And that is where you see it available. Now, these are some of the things that was able to galvanize Nigerians to participate, to see how they can kick out the All Progressive Congress, because they have failed economically. Unemployment rate in Nigeria is at about 34%. Underemployment is at about 40%. Nigeria's economy has literally collapsed. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria passed through about 3 recessions, and the situation in the country now does not indicate any better. In fact, the country appears to be in perpetual recession mode under the APC. So the manufacturing industry has collapsed. The agricultural sector has collapsed. There is virtually no sector that the government can say that it did well. Now, because of all these things and many more, Nigerians were yearning for a change. They wanted a change in government. They wanted a change in administration. But what happened on February 25? What happened? That is at the roots of what we are discussing right now. What happened on February 25? Because as I told you earlier on, if you look at the economic indices, Nigeria performed woefully. Inflation rate right now is over 25% in Nigeria. So basically in the economic front, the government fell woefully. Now, in the area of security, because when Buhari and the APC were coming to power in 2015, they were talking about saving the country from insecurity because of the menace of Boko Haram. At that time, the insecurity was basically in the northeast. We're talking about the northeast Nigeria, where Boko Haram were wreaking havoc in Adamawa, in Borno, in Yobe. Those are basically the Boko Haram triangle. But after 8 years of President Muhammad Buhari, within the last 8 years, over 63,000 Nigerians have been killed. Over 63,000 Nigerians have been killed. These 63,000 Nigerians were spread all over the country. They were spread all over the country. No part of Nigeria is safe again. When Buhari and the APC came to power in 2015, the Boko Haram insurgency were restricted to the northeast. Now, insurgency has spread to the northwest, north central, southeast, and virtually all over the country. So things have gotten worse. Even places that were hitherto safe, like in the north central Nigeria. As I talk to you now, there are over 2 million internally displaced persons in Benue State, north central Nigeria. These are people that were driven from their homes by bandits and militant headers. Government has failed woefully to rein in these people. As I'm talking to you now, many communities have been sacked in Adamawa, in Taraba, in Nasarawa, in Jos. They are still burying people who were killed by militants, bandits, headers, extremist headers. Now, these are clear indication that the APC failed woefully also in the area of security. Now, you look at in terms of the management of the economy, Nigeria's debt had ballooned from about $10 billion to over $44 billion under Buhari, under President Muhammad Buhari. And Nigerians are asking, what did they do with this money? Nigerians couldn't feel this money, what they are doing with it. So there was total despondency in Nigeria. And people are not happy with the All Progressive Congress. And to add salt to injury, the APC ran the most divisive government in the history of Nigeria. It is under the APC that all the service chiefs literally were from the same ethnic and religious stock. It has never happened before. Such a total disregard to the federal character principle of Nigeria. And then, in the nomination of the presidential candidate for the APC, while there were a lot of candidates that could have gotten the ticket, someone like Vice President Yomi Osibanjo, a technocrat par excellence, a man with impeccable character, he was overlooked, and the APC brought in Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man with so much allegations against him, including alleged forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States government, being proceeds of heroin, of drugs, which is one of the issues now being discussed, whether with all that forfeiture, he's still eligible to participate in the election for which he had been declared the president-elect by the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria. Now, these are some of the issues, the baggage that APC is carrying before the election. And to add salt to injury, Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a diverse nation like Nigeria, ran on a Muslim ticket. You can see, therefore, that a lot of things were stacked against the APC. Now, given the economic and security climate in Nigeria, how did APC manage to win the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria? Of course, the results, the reports by several local and international organizations have shown that the election was manipulated and it was rigged. That was the result, the report from several international and local observers. Even the United States government recently, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken of United States, on the authority of the United States government, issued a statement indicating that Nigerians leaders, who are mostly the APC, the governing party, who participated in the rigging of Nigeria's election, have been slammed visa ban. It means that they represent a sort of security risk to be allowed to enter United States. So it is therefore a given that the election was not free and fair. The Americans know it, the Europeans know it, the world knows it. And one of the things that gives credence to the fact that the election was manipulated was what happened on February 25. Ahead of the election, INEC had told Nigerians that BVAS machine will be used for the accreditation of voters. That unless you are accredited by BVAS, you cannot vote. But there were thousands of polling units in Nigeria where BVAS were bypassed. Aside that, Nigerians were told that at every polling unit after the voting, the results will be uploaded from the various polling units via the BVAS onto the INEC aggrieved, so that the world can see it on real time. On the day of the election, despite all the shenanigans, finished smoothly. But to transmit the results to the INEC aggrieved became an issue. The House of Representatives results and the senatorial results, which was an election that took place the same day with the presidential election, was transmitted to the aggrieved, but the presidential election was not. To this day, much of the results of the presidential election, which INEC claimed to have declared as Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner of the election, have not yet been uploaded. This is several weeks after the election. Now, the issue now is, how can Nigerians get justice? Nigerians who voted against the ruling party because of their failures, can they get justice? That is what we are discussing. Can justice be served? Can justice be served? Because Nigerians are in dire need of justice. Because if you look at the presidential election results, you find out that majority of Nigerians rejected the APC. Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now let me use the disputed figures from the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the person that was declared the winner of the election, got about 8.6 million votes. Atiku Abubakar of the PDP got about 6.8 7 or so million votes. Peter Obi of the Labour Party got about 6.1 million votes. Musa Rabi Upankwaso of the NNPP got about 1 million votes. Now, if you calculate the votes of the PDP, Labour Party, and the NNPP, you are getting over 13 million Nigerians that voted against Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So he is coming on board as a president-elect with total rejection of majority of Nigerian voters. And besides that, there are strong indications, especially with what happened, about the inability or the failure or the deliberate act of the Independent National Electoral Commission not to transmit the presidential election results, that the election was manipulated. Now, all hopes of Nigerians are in the judiciary. That is what we're talking about now. Can we trust the judiciary to give justice? There are a lot of reasons why many Nigerians are skeptical, and you can understand with them. There are certain judgments that have been delivered by Nigeria's judiciary that have left a lot to be desired, that have made people scratching their head and say, what is really going on? A typical example, which many can give, is what happened in the APC primaries, the ruling party's primaries. Under the Electoral Act, you cannot participate in two primaries. Now, you cannot, therefore, for example, say you want to contest for president and then also want to contest for Senate or House of Reps, or you want to contest for governor. You have to pick one. That is the law. But a strange thing happened in Nigeria, where the Senate president, Ahmed Lawal, bought the ticket and filled and participated for the presidential ticket nomination of the All Progressive Congress. And he lost. Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, he contested for president and he lost, only for him to return back and come and pick the ticket, senatorial ticket of his senatorial district in Akwa Ibom State, just like Ahmed Lawan did. In case of Ahmed Lawan, some other people, case of these people, other people who participated in the primaries had already gotten the candidates. The APC already had candidates who won in the primaries. But from nowhere, Akpabio and Lawan returned back and picked senatorial tickets. Today they are senators elect. And the court, the Supreme Court allowed that to pass. That's why a lot of people have lost confidence in the judiciary. But there are also those who say, let us give them the benefit of the doubt. Let us give the judiciary the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they will redeem themselves. Maybe they will redeem themselves. Can they really redeem themselves? Of course, they can be able to do that, because they are also part of what is going on in Nigeria. They are seeing what is going on. Because this country have continued to recycle inefficient and ineffective leadership, Nigeria has continued to remain one of the poorest countries in the world. And the justices of the Supreme Court and the Appeal Court, they cannot say they are not aware of this. Now, this is an opportunity for them to do the right thing. But can they do it? Of course, Nigeria's legal history is full of justices that are courageous, that deliver judgments, even against the governments of the day. even during the military. So it can be done. It can be done. And I, for one, I try to maintain a positive outlook to this, that the judiciary may well surprise Nigerians by doing the right thing, by redeeming its image, by ensuring that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal deliver the judgment that will meet the expectations of Nigerians. Don't forget that midnight, early hours of the morning, March 1, when INEC declared Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect, what you had in Nigeria was the silence of the graveyard. There was no jubilation, there was no excitement, because it goes against the grain, it goes against what Nigerians are expecting. It goes against what they were wishing for, what they are hoping for. But at the end of the day, what is left now in the courts is for evidence. What evidence can the petitioners present that will be so overwhelming that even the Supreme Court justices, the appeal court justices, cannot but do justice to it? It will be so overwhelming. But one of the things that is also giving Nigerians concern is the objection to the transmission of the presidential election petition proceedings all over the world, especially even in developing countries like Ghana, like you talk about Ghana, you talk about Kenya, and several other African countries. Presidential election petitions are transmitted live so that people can see how the justices come to their conclusion. Nigerians are expecting nothing less. And the only way that the judiciary can build confidence of Nigerians is to ensure that the presidential election proceedings are transmitted live. But the signals Nigerians are getting is worrisome, because already there are plans to stop people from coming to the courts with their telephone. Now, if the court is afraid of telephone, how are we sure that the court will grant Nigerians the right to view what is happening at the Supreme Court or at the appeal court where the Presidential Petition Tribunal is taking place? That is why people are cautious, are worried, are concerned. But one thing that should give Nigerians confidence is this: the kind of confidence that I see being exhibited by the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, the man who is widely believed to have won the election, the man who right now has won. This is his first time of contesting in a major election as a presidential candidate, and he didn't contest in a major political party. This man won more states than any of the presidential candidates. He won states where it mattered most. He won in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, which under Section 134, subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution makes him eligible to be declared the president-elect, in the sense that it is a conditionality that must be met. Of course, INEC say it is not true, that section of the Constitution is not compulsory, that you must get it before you are declared president-elect, because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC, that they declared the winner, did not meet this condition. And also, Peter Obi won in Rivers State, as he's going to prove in court, as already the BBC has confirmed it. The Premium Times has confirmed it that Peter Obi won in Rivers State. Peter Obi won in Benue State. These are states that Peter Obi won that was allegedly allocated to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by INEC, because INEC declared Tinubu the winner of these two states, Benue and Rivers State. And Peter Obi is challenging the result of the election in 21 states. Now, he is the man that many Nigerians wish had won the election. And many Nigerians voted for him overwhelmingly. North, south, east, and west. And the recent data has shown that in all the military institutions in Nigeria, all the polling units around those areas, Peter Obi won 90% of the votes cast. An indication of his acceptability among the rank and files of the Nigerian military. But can he get justice? Peter Obi believes that he can get justice. So despite the fears that Nigerians are having, Peter Obi is very strong in his belief that he could be able to convince the court that he won the election. And Peter Obi is not new to making historical impact in Nigeria. He contested for the governor of Anambra State in southeast Nigeria in 2003 with an unknown party, a party that was literally 3 months old before the election. What happened? He won the election. The ruling party then, the People's Democratic Party, stole the election. Peter Obi went to court. He was in the court for 3 years until the Supreme Court declared him the duly elected governor of Anambra State. It took him 3 years, diligently in the court. Even his party chickened out, the ABGA, the party under whose platform he contested. When I see the confidence he's exhibiting, and he is not a frivolous man, if Peter Obi has no opportunity, no chance of winning this election, he will not waste his hard-earned dollars to pay highly expensive senior advocates of Nigeria to go to court and waste his time and waste his money. So that should be able to convince Nigerians that, look, there is hope. Don't forget, when Peter Obi won when Peter Obi was declared governor in 2006, after 3 years in the court, at that time, it was seen as an impossibility that a sitting governor cannot be removed from power by an opposition candidate. At that time, even the People's Democratic Party was stronger than what APC is today, the current ruling party. Yet, Peter Obi, against all odds, removed a PDP governor through the courts. And he laid the foundation to the staggered election. It was after he did it that it now became common in Nigeria for governors that were declared to be removed through the courts. After that, Edo State was able to remove. Elected governor was removed in Edo. PDP governor was removed in Ekiti. It was removed in Osun and all that. And that was the beginning of staggered election in Nigeria. So do not be deceived that because of the situation right now, that nobody can obtain a president-elect or a president after he has been sworn in, he cannot be removed from power through the court. It can be done. With overwhelming evidence, the court will have no choice but to remove a sitting president from power. Just as it was impossible in the eyes of many in 2006 that no sitting governor could be removed from power through the court. Today, many people are looking at APC as a behemoth, as the Goliath. Well, we have a David that is on the horizon who has confidence that he could be able to do it. That he could be able to do it. That was why if you see the letter, the reply that Peter Obi made to Anthony Blinken, the United States Secretary of State, who, to the surprise of many Nigerians, went and had a telephone conversation with Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the beneficiary of the election that the U.S. government, including Blinken himself, condemned as being flawed and was sanctioning those who perpetrated it. Yet it was U.S. was given indication that they want to do business with the major beneficiary of the flawed election, which was like United States speaking through both sides of his mouth. If you see the Twitter statement by Peter Obi, he was making reference to the fact that, look, Blinken should allow the courts to determine the president of Nigeria. The presidency of Nigeria is not yet settled. INEC has done their part. What is left now is for the courts to do their own part. America should do well to allow the courts to settle the matter. And this is interesting, and this is important too, because America is selling itself to the world as a beacon of democracy. It's selling itself as the leader of the free world. And America claims that it wants to ensure democracy all over the world. You cannot be ensuring democracy all over the world by supporting and endorsing flawed elections and the product of that flawed election. Now, that's by the way, but in essence, what we are doing right now, what I'm doing this is to encourage Nigerians to have hope in the judiciary, to have confidence in the judiciary, that all hope is not lost. Forget about the recent Supreme Court rulings. Forget about it. Don't be discouraged by it. This same Supreme Court has also done some good work. This same Supreme Court can also do better. Have confidence in them. And if you are a supporter of Peter Obi and you are obedient, continue to be obedient until this matter is sorted out. And I keep saying it, as long as Peter Obi continue to say that he has confidence in the judiciary and he hopes to get justice, I think it is in the best interest of all Nigerians to continue to support him, to continue to back him, and to continue to wait on the judiciary, no matter what happened on May 29th. Okay? Because May 29th, all things being equal, from the way the APC government is going, Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu is likely to be sworn in on May 29th. Okay? And the government have already said it, that no court ruling can even stop it. Okay? Because already we know that the court processes now has not gotten to the Supreme Courts, because it's only the Supreme Courts that could be able to actually stop it. But it is still far-fetched to get to the Supreme Court. You can see how the processes in the court are being delayed and all that. The fact that some of the evidence that the Labour Party needed are not being given to them. INEC allegedly are holding some information, some data that Labour Party need. No, all these are things that makes it a certainty that there is no way the appeal court, where the Presidential Petition Tribunal is sitting right now, can be able to reach a conclusion and stop the inauguration, or even the Supreme Court itself. So all things being equal, that's what Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be sworn in on May 29, 2023. But let us not, because of that, assume that that is the end of the matter, that once he's sworn in, everything is under his control. Well, it may be so. But that was how Goliath, everything was under his control, until David appeared on the scene and things changed. So on the surface, it appears that everything is working fine for Aswad Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But that was how it used to be until the courts will intervene much later, if they have enough evidence to torpedo his emergence. And P2B believe that he has enough evidence. He has enough proof. He is ready to bring about 50 witnesses to prove his case. And let us also not forget, there are also the issue of Abuja, the status of Abuja, where Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu failed to get 25%. We need to see the interpretation, because that one is also enough to sack Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu if it can be proven that it is compulsory that you must get 25% in Abuja. And what I found very strange was that as a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Michael Anduaka, has said that this matter has been settled in 2008 between General Muhammad Buhari and Musa Yar'Adua, where the Supreme Court ruled that the "and" in Section 134, Subsection 2B is conjunctive. Therefore, you must get 25% in Abuja. That is also pending. That could also be used to torpedo Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's emergence. So Nigerians should not, in my own understanding and estimation, Nigerians should not lose hope. Nigerians should not discard the capacity of Nigerian judiciary to deliver judgment that will set this country on the path of jubilation, even after Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu might have been sworn in on May 29. Thank you very much for being part of this life, and God bless you. Whatever opinion you have on this, you can always comment about it anytime you feel like. Thank you, and God bless you.